So we are launching a new product, TimerSTP, wherein we are using equity margin of safety index. Now this is different than a normal STP because if you see, it does value cost averaging, it doesn't give an investor a headache to time the markets, and because of that it is our equity margin of safety index is being able to find out if markets are attractive or expensive. If markets are attractive, it will ask somebody to invest aggressively from the overnight fund into the equity fund, and if markets are expensive, it will help enable investors to invest cautiously, because that is the time one should be cautious, especially when markets are at the top. So yes, we are launching our very own Samco overnight fund, whose NFO will be open from 4th to 6th of October, and with that we are giving enabling investors to make better returns than a normal STP, and with our very own Timer STP product. So any investor, an average investor basically will be able to be better because of this product, because of this feature of Timer STP that he will be able to apply for with the overnight fund. Thank you.
What is the special advantages than the previous one?
So against the normal STP, if you see in normal STP, the same amount of money, irrespective of the market cycles or how markets are behaving, same amount of money gets transferred from the overnight fund to the equity fund. With Timer STP, there is an advantage because it will see on that particular day as to what are the markets. So if markets are down at the bottom, if markets have corrected, that's when it is a good time to add more in the markets because you have higher margin of safety. So that's when Timer STP will actually invest more into the equity fund. But when markets are at the top, as in there's a lot of euphoria around, then Timer STP will show lower margin of safety. So therefore, it's not really safe when markets are at the top because investors actually lose returns. So what Timer STP will do is put very small, 0.01 times your base installment amount into the equity fund. So that is the advantage of a Timer STP over a normal STP, and the alpha is also better. It also helps to reduce drawdowns, and with lesser drawdowns, because you are avoiding mistiming in the markets, the drawdowns are also less, so that is beneficial to the investor to attain better risk adjusted returns over a normal STP.
The assured percentage of return.
So there is no assurance of a percentage of return, but we had back tested returns, and that's how we could show you the percentage, which was back testing was done on Nifty 50, Nifty 500. However, there is no assurance of a percentage of return, and returns are better than a normal STP, that's what we can say. It manages risks also, it manages returns also very beautifully. So on a risk adjusted basis, there are appropriate returns for an investor.
Subject to market risk.
Yes, always subject to market risk. Nothing in mutual funds is without subject to market risk. The minimum investment for Timer STP to start running in the overnight fund, you should have at least 25,000 rupees. Otherwise, for normal overnight fund, minimum is 5,000 rupees. The period can be decided by the investor. It can be for how many ever periods he want. The frequency of STP also the investor can decide. In Timer STP, we have an option of the investor to choose between weekly, monthly and quarterly. So the investor on his preference can choose monthly, weekly or quarterly, and if he wants to do Timer STP, he can do that, avail for that also, and if he wants to do normal STP, there is a normal STP form as well. So both these will be available with the overnight fund launch or the NFO that will come about. So it is on the investor, whatever he thinks. However, the Timer STP does work better because it avoids mistiming the markets and entering later and even exiting later, which are the basic mistakes an average investor makes. Sorry, sir? There is no such. You can withdraw anytime you want. There is no such
Your name?
compulsion. I am Nirali Bansali and I am the fund manager for Samco Flexi Cap Fund. For the overnight fund, Mr. Dhaval Dhanani will be the fund manager.